Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang. So today in this video we will explain about a question problem, and on that question we will make pseudocode and flowchart. Will be explained by me and my partner. So before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Ikomang Satya Bagustiarna with NIM F1B0255155, and my partner.
My name is Leo Khalid Ardiansyah and my student ID is F1D02510043.
Okay, question number 1. In this question, program receive input of two integers from the user. After receiving input of two integers, the program provide output in the form of the largest integer entered by the user. So in this question, we need to input two integers, and we compare between two input, and the largest input will be the output of the program. So here's the flowchart. Will be explained by my friend.
So as we can see, the answer of problem number 1 is like this. So we start from here and then we have to input two integers, which is it was x and y, and then we see this one is decision. So in these decisions we compare the x value, it is bigger than y value. If yes, then we print x value and then the program stop. But if the x value is not bigger than y value, the program will print y value and then the program stop.
So in this pseudocode, first we print input two integers and then print first integers. After that input x and then print second integers and input y, and after that we make decision if x greater than equal to y, then print the largest integer is x, else print the largest integer is y. And if
so, in problem number 2, we can see the program asks us to receive input of two integers from the users. After receiving input of two integers, the program provides output in the form of the largest odd integer entered by the user. And then it should be noted that there is a possibility that there are no odd numbers entered by the users at all. And then, we got hint in here. We can use modulo arithmetic or mod for this case to determine whether a number is odd or even. Modulo is mathematically notation for calculating the remainder of a division. So in here, we have to compare with two integers, which one is the largest odd integer, and we have to only compare the odd integer. So we have to use modulo to make the integer value is it even or odd. So we can move to the flowchart.
okay, from that problem, here's the flowchart. First we make a start, and then after that input x and y. After that we will use modulo for to know is it the integers are odd number or even number. So we use x mod 2 equal to 1. If x mod 2 equal to 1, it's considered as odd number. If yes, then max. So max in here is maximum number, max is x. So if no, then we check again the y integers. Is it y is odd number or even number? If it yes, then we compare y. Is y greater than equal to max? If yes, then max is y. If no, then print max. But if the y is even number, then we jump to print max. Or if both are even number, which is x mod 2 equal to 1 is no, y mod 2 equal to 1 is no, and then we jump to stop because there is no odd number. So we will move to the pseudocode.
So we jump to the pseudocode. Now, first one, we have to initialize. The max is 0. This is, so we jump to the pseudocode. And now, first one, we initialize the max value is 0. And then, this one, the input to integers and first integer, this first integer is display that will show up when users have to input the first integers. And then the users will input the first integer, which is will change the x value. And then print the second integers will show up when the users have to input the second integers, which is it was the y value. And then this is the decisions if x value modulo by 2 equals to 1. If it yes, then the max value will be changed, or will be changed to the x value. And then and if, end of the decisions. And then the decisions again, if y value modulo by 2 equals 1. If it yes, then run. If again, decisions again, y value, is it y value larger than max value? In this case, max value is x, because if x modulo 2 equals 1, and then max equals x. If no, then this decisions or this parts didn't running at all. And from this input y value, will skip this part and jump to this part. If max is still 0, then is it true? For the y value is bigger than max value. If yes, the max value will change into the y value. And then and if, end of decisions, and then if again decisions, max value, is it max value equals to 0? So this one will check if the max is still 0. If it yes, display will show up there is no odd numbers on the input. And then if no, is it max value is bigger than 0? If it yes, the largest odd number is plus max. This plus max mean after this display show up, the largest odd number is, there will be max value show up in the display. And then and if, so yeah, oh I forgot to tell you about the max larger than 0. If user input negative number, then this one doesn't run. And then yeah, it's also skip this part.
Okay, here's the exercise 3. In this exercise 3, a program receives input of 3 integers from the user. After receiving input of 3 integers, the program provides output in the form of the largest integers entered by the user. So we should note that there's a caution. There is a possibility that some of the input might have same value. So in this exercise, we need to make 3 input, and then after that, we need to compare 3 input which input is the largest. And if we found the largest number will be the output entered, will be output of the program. And the flowchart will be explained by my friend.
So we move to the flowchart section. Okay, the program starts, and then the users have to input 3 integers, which is x, y, and z. And then the program will run a decisions. Is it x value bigger than y value? If yes, then the program will do another decisions. Is it x value bigger than z value? If yes, then the max value set by x value. And then program will display the max value is the biggest number from all of that 3 input, and then the program stop. But if no, in the first decisions, which is x bigger than y, if no, then the y value is bigger than z. No, is it the y value is bigger than z? If yes, then the max will be the y value, and then it goes to print max. So why this in this probability, because the x is not bigger than y, so the x doesn't count in here. We have to not we don't use the x again to compare with z. So we only compare the y bigger than z If true, then the max value is set by y, and the system will display the max value, which is its y value. But in the second decision, if it no, then it will show up the max value gets set up by the z value, and it goes to print max again. Same as these decisions. Is it x value bigger than z? If no, then it goes to max value set by z, and then it goes again into the print max. Okay, now we are moving into the pseudocode.
So here's the pseudocode for number 3. So we first initialization max equal to 0, and then print input 3 integers, print first integers, and then input x, and then for second integers we input y, and for third integers we input z. So first we compare x. Is it x greater than equal to y? If yes, then we compare again with z, which x greater than equal to z. If yes, then max equal to x, else max equal to z. But we move back to this. If x greater than equal to y, if no, then we check with y. We check again with y is greater than equal to z. If yes, then max equal to z, y, else max equal to z. And then in the end, print the largest integer is max. So max is which largest number from in-test comparison.
Now in problem number 4, we have to make a program receive input of 3 integers from the user. After receiving the input of 3 integers, the program provides output in the form of the largest odd integer entered by the user. It should be noted that there is possibility that there are no odd numbers entered by the user at all. This is like the number 2. So which we have to see the largest odd integer using modulo. And then we have to make the modulo, so it will be checked, is it even or odd number. But the difference is, in number 2 we have to make 2 integers, in this one we have to make 3 integers. So we are moving to the flowchart.
Okay, so we move to number 4 flowchart. First we initialization max is equal to 0, and then we make input x, y, z, and then first we check if it x is an odd number by using mod 2 equal to 1. If yes, then max equal to x. If no, then we move to checking input y. Is it odd number or no? If yes, we compare y and max. If y is greater than max, then max equal to y, which is the maximum value will be now input y. And then z, we move to checking z. Is it input z is odd number? If yes, then we compare with max. If z is greater than max, then we make the z input z is the maximum value. But if, and then in the end we print max. But if there's no odd number, which is x is even number, y is even number, z is even number, then print max. Max is equal to 0, which is from the first initialization. Right, for the pseudocode will be explained by my friend.
In pseudocode problem number 4, the users have to input the x value. In pseudocode number 4, the program will display input 3 integers, and then the second display is first integers is, and then users have to input the x value or the first integers, and then after that the program will display the second integers, and then we have to input the second integers, which is this is in the y value. And again, the program will display the third integers, and then we have to input the third integers, which is that value. And the program will start doing decisions. If x value modulo with 2 equals 1, if yes, then the max value will set with x value, which is now max equals to x value. And then decision stop. And then the program will run another decisions. This is the second decisions, which is is it y value modulo by 2 equals 1? If yes, then it runs another decisions. This is the nested if. In if, there is another if. And in this if, is it the y value bigger than max value? If yes, then max value set with y value. But if this one is not true, then this section will not running, because yeah, the x modulo by 2 is not equal than 1, so the max is never set by x value. And then in the third decisions, if for the z, is it the z value modulo by 2 equals 1? If yes, then we run another decisions. Is it z value bigger than max value? If yes, then max value change into the z value. So in here we can see if max set by x, and then we compare y bigger than max. If yes, then max is changed into the y value, and then that's happen again if the max is smaller than z value. And then this is another decisions. If max equals 0, then the display will show up there is no odd numbers on the input, same like problem number 2. If the max still 0, if not, or else, if max bigger than 0, then print the largest odd number is plus max. So display will show up the largest odd number, and then the max value will show up. And if the program stop. Yeah, we move into the problem number 5.
So for number 5, a program receives an input of an integer n. So in this case, integer n is how many times you input a number. For example, n is 5, so you only have 5 times to put the input the integers, and then after that the program asks the user to enter n positive integer, and the output of the program is the largest integer entered by the user. It should be noted that the user might enter a negative integer, where this case needs to be handled by the program by ignoring the number. So we have to input integers, and the largest integers we input will be the output of the program. And we should note that if we enter a negative integer, we will ignore the number, which is ignoring the number. If I put -3 and then ignore it, and the integer n should be the same. So for the flowchart will be explained by a friend.
Okay, we move to the flowchart. When the program starts, users have to input the n integers, and then the program will runs a decisions. If n value bigger than 0, if the users input a negative value, then the results of these decisions will be false, which is no, and then it goes to input again. The users have to input another value. If the user still input the negative value, then users have to input another value, because this is the checker. Is the user input negative or not? So if it's not negative again, then n bigger than 0. If it's true, then we initialize count set to 0, max set to 0, and then we see is the count or the counter bigger than n, because the counter still 0 and n is like, maybe we input 5, like 5, okay? So we input 5. Is it 0 bigger than 5? No. And then we have to input another integers. It was x value. So when x value bigger than 0, like if you input more than 0 or not negative number, and then the counter will count up. When the counter count up, is it x value bigger than max value, which is max is still 0 in here, no change? If yes, then x will be the max value. And then this goes into the counter again. When the counter is count plus 1, so the counter up, 0 be value of, no, the counter will be 1, the value of 1. So is the counter with one value bigger than n, which is we input 5 before, so 1 is smaller than 5, right? So this program will run again. Input, we have to input x. This is the checker, is it negative or not? If negative, then we have to input again. We have to input again because this one is checker for the counter. Input again, and then if it was bigger than 0, the counter up. If x bigger than max, so if we input the x was 10, the first input x, so when the second input x is smaller than 10, the max is not set by the new x value, it's still 10, the value of 10. And then the counter will count up in here, counter will count up, goes by 2, the counter which is have value of 2 bigger than n, which is 5. If no, then the program will run again, again and again until the counter bigger or equal with n value. If yes, then print max. What is max? Max was the x value, the biggest x value that users input. When the max display up, the program stops. So yeah, it was the flowchart for number 5. We move into the pseudocode.
For number 5, here's the pseudocode. Here we initialization first, which is max is equal to 0, count is equal to 0. And first we input n, so that's like how many input we will be input. While n less than 0, do print input positive integer only, and then again we input n. So this prevent any negative number will be input in while. So next, while count less than n, do print integers number, count plus 1, print this 2, titik 2, and then input x. So we check, is it x is less than 0, then print input positive integers only, continue. So again, this we will ignore negative number, so x should be positive integers. If x is positive integers, then we move to decision. Is it x greater than max, which is 0, this is first input. If yes, then max is equal to x, and then count plus 1. So we back again to input x, and then we do all this process until count is less than n. After that, and while we print the largest integer is max. So we move to number 6.
In problem number 6, we have to make a program receive an input of an integer n. After that, the program asks the user to enter n integers. The output of the program is the number of odd numbers and sum of all odd numbers entered by the user. So it's like number 5, but in here the output program is number of odd numbers. So when we input odd numbers, the counter will count all of odd numbers that we input. Like we input 1, 3, 5, so it was 3, right? The counter will goes into 3, and then sum of all odd numbers. So 1, 3, and 5 will sum into 3 plus 5, 8, 9. So yeah, it will result be all of odd numbers that get summed. Okay, now we move into the flowchart.
So here's flowchart for number 6. First we input n. It's how many input we have to do, and then after that we initialization, which is count equal to 0, odd equal to 0, sum equal to 0, and then while we do this, count, is it count greater than equal to n, and then we go next and count plus 1, this indicate as counter, and then input num. We check, is it num is an odd number or even number? Is yes, then we sum of all odd number, sum plus num, and then After that, odd equal to odd plus 1. This indicate as how many odd number are input. And then we go back here until count is less than n. If yes, then we print odd, which is how many odd numbers in this program, and we print sum, which is the total of the total sum of the odd number, and then stop. So here's the pseudocode.
Okay, so in the pseudocode, we initialize first the sum, count, and odd. So sum is set to 0, count set to 0, and odd also set to 0. And then the display will show out input integers. The user have to input the integers for the n, and then the program will run a while program. And is it n value less than 0? And then if yes, do print input positive integers only. This will show up the input positive integers only, input integers again. We have to input n again if less than 0. If not less than 0, then the program will run forward to the another while. This while will check, is it the count less than n? If yes, then display will show up integers number, and then the count will count up. This is the display again. We have to input the num. So the value of num will be checked by this decision, this if. Is it less than 0? If yes, display will show up input positive integers only if it less than 0. If it less than 0, then it will be negative. So negative value is not allowed. And then the program will run this continue. So when this continue get execute, the other from the all the others from after the continue will not running. So because this continue still in the while, it will goes to while again. So count, is it the counter less than n? If it's still less than n, then this will run again. So but if the input number is not negative value, it will run this. Else, if is it number bigger than 0, then if again, decisions again, number, which is value of this num, modulo with 2 equals 1. If yes, then the numbers of odd plus plus. This means it counts up if it was a positive value. If negative, this doesn't count up. And then the sum set with value of num plus sum. So the decision stop, and then count plus plus. Same as odd plus plus, it will count up if it was a positive only. And if. But because we still in while, we have to do this checking. Is it count less than n? If it's still less than n, all of this program will still running. But if not, then the display will show up the total of odd numbers from input is odd. Well, the display will show the odd number, and then another display will show up total sum of all odd numbers from input is the sum value. So yeah, now we move to number 7.
So we move to number 7, which is important question. So in this question, a program will run continuously asking the user to enter an integer and will only stop if the user enters a negative integer. So the program output are the largest positive integer, the average, and the smallest positive integer entered by the user. So there are 3 output of the program. If the user never enters a positive integer at all, the program output is showing number 0 for all the 3 requested information. So in this question, a program will run continuously and will stop if the user enters a negative integer. And the output of this program are 3, which is the largest positive integer, the average, and the smallest positive integer. So the flowchart will be explained by my friend.
Now we will see the flowchart from problem number 7. So when the program starts, it initializes 5 variables in here: S set to 0, B set to 0, A set to 0, C set to 0, and T set to 0. And then the users have to input X integers. Is it X value bigger or more than 0? If yes, now we initialize the S equals to X and then the B equals to X, which is, yeah, B value is now same as the X value. And now, is it X value smaller than S value? If yes, then the S value is changed into the X value. But if it was no, is it the X value bigger than B? If yes, now the B value set to be the X value. And from this to initialize, it runs into a 1. What initialize? C is C plus 1. I mean, this is the counter when they no. So the value from C goes up, and then the T value is plus with the X value, and then the A value is T divided by the counter. And then the display will show up the B, S, and A, which is the biggest, and then the S is sum, and then A is average. And then the users have to input X again. Is it X bigger than 0? If yes, then it goes here again. They start all of this program until is it X is a negative number. If yes, or if X is not bigger than 0, it will go to print as BA, which is the program will stop and then show up the sum, the biggest number, and then the average. This is also happen if in the first checker of the X, if the X is a negative number, then the program will stop that time, because the users must input positive input or positive value of the input, not inputting any negative numbers. So now we are moving into the pseudocode from problem number 7.
Okay, here's the pseudocode for number 7. So we first initialization S is equal to 0, B equal to 0, A equal to 0, C equal to 0, T equal to 0. So S indicate as smallest number, B is indicate as biggest number, A is average, C is counter, T is a total, or a sum of all number are input. So first we input X, and then if X is greater than 0, then we do X equal to X, B equal to X, and then do if X is less than S, then X equal to X. Else, if X is greater than B, then B equal to X. And if. So we after that we count equal to count plus 1, and then total, which is sum of all input, and then we average, if it's divided by total divided by counter, and then print, this is like H, and then print B, biggest number, print smallest number, print average number, and then input X, while X is greater than 0. If X is less than 0, we end while. You don't have to do that, forgot. If X is less than 0, and and then print b, biggest number, print smallest number, print average number. So if this input x is a negative number also, and then they jump to here. Move to number 8.
Okay, in problem number 8, we have to make a program ask the user to enter a positive integer, and the output of the program is to list all the factors of the numbers. The factor of a number is a number that divides the given number completely without any remainder. So, when users input a positive integer, the output of program is list all factors of the number. So, when positive integer, and then we use modulo to make the factor. When the factor, when the input got factored by the modulo, that factor will get listed. So it's like when you factor like three times for the completely without any remainder, so all of the factorization will get listed. Okay, if we still are confused, we move to the flowchart for more explanation.
Alright, here is the flowchart for number 8. First we initialization I equal to 1, and then input x. So we check if is it I greater or equal to x. If yes, then x mod I, is it x mod I equal to 0. So in this decision it's indicated as is it I can divide x to equal to 0. For example, input x is 30 and then I is 3. So is it 30 divided by 3 is equal to 0? If yes, then print I. But we move to E. Is it E? Is E 4? Is it x 30 can be divided by 4? You can. So you don't have to print I. And then you do this until I equal to x. Is it if I equal to x, then stop. So for flowchart will be explained by my friend.
Okay, we move into the pseudocode. So in the first thing, the E, or we initialize the E value set into 1, and then the users have to input the value for x variables. And then the while, this will run while is it E value less than x. If yes, then we have to make decisions again, or this is the checker. X, is it x value mod with E, which is E value is still 1, equals 0, then print E. E, it's still 1, right? And if, so, and if, and then this initialize the value of E set with E plus 1. So it goes up, it's counter up with 2. So is it 2 less than x? If yes, the decisions again, is it x modulo with value of E, now value is 2, with 2 equals 0? If yes, then print E. So what is print E does? This print E will list all of the factorization for the x, and then until the E is bigger or equal with the x value, this while, oh no, if bigger than x value, this while is stop. Yeah, and while, and then the program will stop. Okay, now we move into the number 9.
So for number 9, a program asks the user to enter a positive integer, and the output of the program is write the number of factor of the number. So in my understanding, this exercise is show how many factor are the input. So for more understanding explanation will be explained by my friend.
Flowchart for number 9, problem number 9. Okay, we start here, the program starts, it initialized E value is 1, and initialize total, the total value is 0. And then users input value for x variable, and then we check, is it E or 1 in here, 1 less than x, which is this one is the user's value that users input. If yes, then the x modulo with E value is 1 equals 0. If yes, the total the total set counts up, total plus 1, yeah, counts up. And then E is plus 1. So E value is now counts up also. This is the counter for E and total. And then we run these decisions again. If E less than X, if yes, X modulo with E value, which is now changed into 2 because counts up, equals 0. And total counts up again, equals 2. And now, until this E is more than X, then this decisions is not running again. I mean, it equals into false, and then print total. And then the program will stop. Okay.
So for pseudocode number 9, first we initialization I equal to 1, total equal to 0, and then input X. While I greater or equals to X 2, we decision if X mod I equal to 0, then total equals to total plus 1. So this is counter up. And then if this for counter up for this while, and then you do this until I is equal to X, and then n while print total. For example, I put input X is 20, so 20 there's like 1 2 4 1 2 4 5 10 and 20, so the total is 6. So I input X is 20, and then while I greater or equal to X, and do X to 20 mod I. For example, 20 mod 2 is equal to 0. If it yes, then total is total plus 1. And then end if I equal I plus 1. And while, and then do this and print total. We move to number 10.
Okay, this is the last problem. So, a problem number 10, we have to make a program that asks the user to enter a positive integer. And the output of the program is to determine whether the number is a prime number or not. Okay, is it like the number 9, but we have to make a checker for determine whether it's a number prime or not, or prime number, I mean. So when the users input the positive integer, it runs like the problem number 9, but until if the total, or in the number 9, I mean, if the total is equals to, then it was a prime number. But if not, then it was not the prime number like that. So we move into the flowchart for more explanation.
So for flowchart number 10, first we initialization I equals to 1, total equal to 0. So I mean for mod I. So first we input X, and then is it I greater or equal to X? If yes, then X mod I equal to 0. If X mod I equal to 0, then total plus 1. We do this until I is equal to X. If total equal to 2, it's, if yes, then print prime. So if total equal to 2, is a prime number. So if not, then it's not prime number. And then stop. So for example, I put number 7. So the only factor that 7 has is 1 and 7, right? So the total is 2. So 7 is prime number. But what if 9? If 9, the factor is 1, 3, and 9. So its total, it exists to 2. So it's not, so 9 is not a prime number. So for the pseudocode will be explained by my friend.
In the pseudocode of number 10, the first one, we have to initialize the number of A. It was set by value of 1, and then the total set value of 0, and then users have to input the X, which is this one, the same like number 9, yeah. When the users input the X value, this program or this while will run, checking is it E value is less than X. If yes, then do if again. This is decisions again. X is value of X modulo with E value of E equals 0. If yes, then this total will counts up total plus 1. And if, then E also got counts up E plus 1. So this will run again because it was while. It have to stop when this E value is not less than 0, less than X. So E value now change into 2 because it got counts up. Is it less than X? If X is still more than E, then this runs again. If X value modulo with E equals 0, then total counts up is running until this E is bigger than X value. And then the programs runs if total equal to, then the prime then the display will show prime true, because it got the total this total counts up until 2. It will be a prime number, but if it not equals 2, then it was the not prime number, prime false. Display will show this. Okay, and if program will stop. So for problem number 10, that's it, or for all of the problem here. Okay, so that's all from both of us, and we'll sign out. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.